Grizzlies move to 500 on the road as they come to Minneapolis and beat the Timberwolves 116 to 110 and led for the second game in a row. Jaren Jackson Jr. getting it done. 2 of his 28 tonight and leading the Grizzlies, who were fired up to get this win tonight here in Los Angeles. Welcome, everyone, to Grizzlies Live Postgame presented by your Mid-South Ford dealers. I'm Rob Fisher, Brevin Knight, Pete Pranica alongside as we wrap this one up as the Grizzlies knock off the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's good to get the result that the Grizzlies deserve tonight. They played extra hard tonight. They were shorthanded. They came out with the right mentality, and they did everything, include get the W.
Yeah, you hit it on the head right there. You want to walk out here rewarding yourself. And I thought this Grizzlies team rewarded themselves for the efforts that they put forth on both ends of the floor.
One of the things that Tomas Isolo said in training camp, he said, we want to ingrain habits that will allow us to survive adversity. Well, the Grizzlies do a pretty good job of surviving adversity because they stick to their habits. Defensively, they've been great. And the input from Jaren Jackson Jr., the spirit, the competitiveness, the focus, if you will, the purpose, as Penny Collins mentioned it at halftime of the Clipper game, it was all there again tonight.
He did it for a second straight game.
He was terrific. I mean, and the thing what you like about it is he's going back to what we saw last year when he's able to mix up his game. And mixing up the game is knock down threes, but attack the basket, be a menace on the defensive side. And he was that on the board tonight. It's just been fun to watch Jaren navigate the season. Nobody got started the way that they wanted to get started. But guys are finding their footing as the season is going along. And I give them a lot of credit for being able to stick with it with themselves individually, but also stick with it as a team to have the results that they're having now.
The other thing that's interesting, he's playing with this high intensity and is not in foul trouble.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you talking about stick-with-itness, BK?
There
is that what
it
we're
is.
talking about?
There it is.
28 points for Jaren tonight, 12 rebounds as well. 3 more block shots. That's 8 in the last 2 games for Jaren Jackson Jr. as he got the job done tonight. He was the leading scorer on the night for both teams with 28. Well, for the Minnesota Timberwolves, you know they got a lot of talent, and you know they got guys who can be problems. Julius Randle can be a major problem, and he was at times here tonight for the Timberwolves.
Yeah, he started shooting threes, and I think he started 0 for 4 from 3 and then started to play downhill, and that's really where you have to worry about him. He was only 1 of 6 from beyond. He was 8 of 15 once he got inside, and he is just a total menace. Offensively and defensively, he had 3 steals. This is a guy that you've got to track down. You've got to match his physicality, and the Grizzlies did a good job against him. Again, it's a 21-point game for him, which is pretty much right around his average, but still you did not allow him to have a big game and be a difference maker.
Took 21 shots to get 21 points. And whenever you're playing against high-level players, you would love for them to be 1-to-1 in terms of points and field goal attempts. The Grizzlies did that, and they didn't allow him to affect the game totally with his downhill play.
Yeah, his 6th straight game of scoring 20-plus points for the Timberwolves. But the Grizzlies do get the win tonight, and the Grizzlies, without Zach Edey, of course, they've had Santi Aldama in the lineup. Brandon Clarke was in the starting lineup tonight, along with Santi Aldama. But, boy, Jock Landale just continues whatever role he's called upon. He is getting it done, and tonight he was fantastic.
Well, and he loves playing in this system. He did not play for Tomas, but he played against Tomas Isolo coach teams in Europe. So he's familiar with how Tomas wants the game to be played. But the effort that he played with tonight, you know, there are some teams when they get hit by injuries or adversity, they hang their heads. The Grizzlies did exactly the opposite of that tonight. And there is something about the spirit of this team that they don't drop their heads when adversity comes calling, and they just do what Jock Landale did, which is just work harder.
Well, and the thing that he talked about after the game that was huge was that every night you come into the building as a Memphis Grizzly, you could be on the floor. And because of that, then everybody comes in with a heightened sense of being ready to play. And by being ready, they're able to have the individual performances that we've been able to see this season. And so Jock Landale, along with the other players, has kept himself ready because he knows that he's going to have the opportunity to go out and perform, and he has performed nicely.
I didn't know he'd be 4 for 9 from 3. My goodness, but knocking down 4 of them. Pretty darn impressive for Jock Landale. He was terrific tonight for the Grizzlies. As they get the victory tonight over the Minnesota Timberwolves, we will take a break here on Grizzlies Live Postgame. 116-110. Grizzlies get the victory. There's one of Jock's 4 threes. And talking to the crowd, a lady was upset. All right, welcome back, everyone, to Grizzlies Live Postgame presented by your Mid-South Ford dealers as the Grizzlies win tonight here in Minneapolis, 116-110. Grizzlies now 500 on the road this season, and they've won 6 of their last 7 away from home with the victory tonight here in Minneapolis. And really, from the start of the game throughout, Grizzlies had a nice advantage in the painted area.
Grizzlies, I said it during the course of the broadcast, they go for 50 in the paint. The results usually are good. This is a Grizzlies team. They're not a great jump shooting team, but they do have the ability to get to the rim. They do have athletic and long players that can get to the rim, and understanding that you're going against Rudy Gobert quite a bit and one of the better interior defensive teams in the NBA. But you just can't go away from it. Grizzlies shot exactly 50% on their shots in the paint, 25 of 50, ending up with 50 paint points tonight. I think the paint is, you got to get a piece of the paint. And if you score in the paint and you can hit some threes, that's the best of both worlds. And you saw what Jock Landale was able to do, not only in the paint, but it opened him up for threes.
In the 3 games since you lost Zach Edey, Grizzlies have still been very good in the paint. So that's a nice sign to see as well in these 3 games. All right, let's hear from the head coach of the Grizzlies, Tuomas Isalo, as he visits with the media following tonight's win.
Game like this.
Oh, it's the biggest stabilizing factor that a team can have. First of all, controlling the possession game, doing a good job there. We were able to force 17 turnovers, but also controlling the boards. And that's what was needed with the lack of playmakers on the roster, and both that rebounding and overall defense, which we've taken huge strides in, and especially in the second half today, did a great job with.
2 games in a row on this road trip, Jaren Jackson Jr. saw the results. I know the process has been in place for a long time, but it looks like you guys have had a lot of conversations about what you need from him and what he wants to do. How has that gone, and what have you seen these last 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, Jaren's been in his spots for a while now, and that's why we were like, it's just a matter of time before he gets going, and got it going against the Clippers, now playing with a lot of confidence. And I think our spacing around him and also getting him into those actions has been better. Spacing has been better, and we've been getting him more dynamically into those actions, even though today it was a very physical battle for him to even get the ball. So a lot of contact was allowed, but Jaren did great again today, and also the 12 rebounds, and it's been putting up also. His timing was great already when we played the Clippers. Today also 3 block shots, 1 steal. The stocks numbers are also up, so it's a great sign for us.
But the thing that when he starts talking about with Jaren, what they've done the last 2 basketball games, we've seen more Jaren isolation in the slot, which is where he really likes to have the basketball. The movement away from it has been there, and so he's been able to have more one-on-one opportunities. And then these one-on-one opportunities, we say, Jaren is better than anyone when you just want to play on one-on-one. And he's shown it these last 2 basketball games. But good job of the offense to be able to adjust to give him more of those opportunities.
Yeah, there have been some minor tactical adjustments, maybe less pick and rolls with him being the screener and maybe not getting the ball back. Now you put him in isolation, and he's a matchup nightmare.
Grizzlies now will have a couple of days off as the schedule has broken pretty much in their favor here recently. There's a Grizz killer, C.J. McCollum. We'll see if he is with the Washington Wizards as they come to town on Saturday. Grizzlies Live gets underway at 6:30. And tip-off at 7 o'clock for the Grizz and the Wiz.
A chance to get to 500.
A chance to get to 500 for the Grizzlies. Absolutely. All right. We've talked about everything. Before we get out of here, I want to ask you about BC. Great to see him on the floor. He was good.
The good thing with BC, he looked like BC.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, the stats, all those things will come, but the bounce was there. The changing ends of the floor, the hustle plays were there. We saw the pogo stick, so very happy with that first outing from BC.
One of the things you always loved about Brandon Clarke, he played the game with joy. Played the game with extra special joy tonight. The timing, the shooting, it'll all come together.
Shout out Canada.
Shout out Canada.
Shout out
it was
Canada.
Great to see BC back on the floor tonight for the Grizzlies. He finished with 6 points, also had 3 rebounds, an assist, and a steal for Brandon tonight in the Grizzlies victory. Grizzlies win it tonight. They are now 5-0 in the Platinum Whites. How about that? 116-110 Grizz over the Timberwolves tonight. It was 28 from Jaren Jackson Jr. to go along with 12 rebounds. Santi Aldama had 11 rebounds as well tonight, and Jock Landale with 20 points and 10 boards, a double-double for him, and 17 for Jaylen Wells. Grizzlies win it 116-110 until Saturday. Good night, everyone.